Your dog stares at you from across the room, and you think they're just being cute. But what if they already know you're stressed before you even realize it yourself? Stay till the end, because the last one will completely change how you see your dog. We've always assumed that we understand our dogs. We pick their food, we choose their environment, we decide when they go outside. We act like we're the ones in control of this relationship. But the truth is, our dogs understand us far better than we've ever given them credit for. And over the last 2 decades, scientists have been uncovering just how deep that understanding actually goes. From reading your emotional state in real time to detecting invisible chemical changes happening inside your body, dogs are processing information about you constantly, every single day, without you even knowing. Here are 5 science-backed things your dog knows about you, and the research behind each one will genuinely change how you see this animal. You've probably noticed this without ever really thinking about it. When you look your dog directly in the eyes, they're relaxed, calm, maybe they even hold your gaze. But when a stranger does the exact same thing, the dog looks away, gets tense, maybe even backs up. That's not a personality quirk. That's evolution working exactly as it was designed to. Direct eye contact from an unfamiliar human triggers genuine fear and anxiety responses in dogs, including a measurable, documented rise in heart rate. From the perspective of most animals in the wild, a direct, unblinking stare from something you don't know means one thing: a predator sizing you up. It's a threat signal. But here's where dogs become extraordinary. During thousands of years of domestication alongside humans, dogs evolved something that no other animal has managed: the ability to reinterpret direct eye contact from a trusted human as a signal of safety rather than danger. That neurological rewiring happened specifically because of their relationship with us. Wolves, their closest genetic relatives, have never made that shift. For wolves, direct eye contact is still a dominance challenge, a potential confrontation. But dogs learn to read the eyes of someone they trust and translate what they see into something entirely different: connection. So when your dog holds your gaze across the room, that small, quiet moment carries thousands of years of shared evolution behind it. They're not just looking at you. They're telling you they feel safe with you. And that distinction between a stranger's stare and yours is something their nervous system figured out long before any scientist studied it. Your dog got into the trash, or chewed something they shouldn't have. You walk into the room and you haven't said a single word yet, but they're already doing the look. Head low, ears pinned back, eyes wide and soft, tail tucked between their legs. You look at that face and you think, they know exactly what they did. Science looked at that same situation and found something far more interesting. In 2009, Dr. Alexandra Horowitz ran a study specifically designed to test whether the guilty look was actually connected to guilt. She set up a situation where owners were told their dog had eaten a forbidden treat. But in half the cases, the dog hadn't actually eaten anything. The owners just believed they had. The result: dogs showed the guilty look in both conditions equally. Whether they had done something or not made no difference whatsoever. What determined the look was the owner's reaction, their tone, their posture, the shift in their energy when they believed something had gone wrong. The dog wasn't confessing. The dog was responding. This behavior is called appeasement, and it's one of the most sophisticated social survival tools in the animal kingdom. When a dog senses tension or displeasure from someone they depend on, they instinctively display submissive signals to de-escalate the situation. Head down, eyes soft, body low. All of it says, I am not a threat. Please don't be angry. They read the shift in you before you even open your mouth. And they respond to that shift, not to what they actually did. Which means every time you've pointed at the mess and said, he knows what he did, your dog wasn't feeling guilt. They were reading your body language with remarkable precision and trying to bring the tension back down. This one isn't anecdotal. This comes directly from a controlled laboratory study. In 2022, Clara Wilson of Queen's University Belfast published research in PLOS O&E demonstrating something that sounds almost impossible. Dogs can detect changes in volatile organic compounds, VOCs, released in human breath and sweat during acute psychological stress, and their accuracy rate in the study was 93.75%. Let that number sit for a second. Nearly 94% accurate, just from smelling you. When your stress levels rise, your body chemistry physically changes at a molecular level. Compounds in your sweat and breath shift in ways that are completely imperceptible to another human standing right next to you. But to a dog, with approximately 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our 6 million, those changes are a clear, readable signal, and the implications go far beyond stress detection. These same VOC shifts have been identified in patients with cancer, cystic fibrosis, and diabetes. This is why trained medical scent detection dogs are now being studied and deployed in actual clinical settings. Because their nose is picking up on disease markers that our most advanced equipment sometimes struggles to catch early. So when you're having a difficult day and your dog won't leave your side, they haven't just picked up on your mood from your face or your behavior. They have chemically detected a change in your body. Their nose told them something is wrong before your brain fully processed it. They knew you were stressed before you sat down, before you even felt it yourself. Dogs don't just process stress emotionally, they process it physiologically, and the data on how severely their body reacts to environmental change is striking. Research shows that dogs entering a shelter environment display cortisol levels, the body's primary stress hormone, nearly 3 times higher than dogs living in a stable home. And this spike doesn't build gradually. It happens within the first 3 days of arrival. 3 times the normal cortisol, in 72 hours. The 2 most powerful stressors identified for dogs are unfamiliar environments and separation from their social attachment figures. These aren't behavioral preferences. They are hardwired biological threat responses. When a dog's environment suddenly changes, or when the person they're bonded to disappears, their HPA axis, the same hormonal sesame that humans have, activates as if they are facing a genuine survival threat. And if that activation becomes chronic, the consequences compound. Persistently elevated cortisol suppresses immune function. It drives up aggression. It creates a state of constant hypervigilance where the dog cannot fully relax because their nervous system has stopped believing the environment is safe. What this means in practical terms is significant. Every time you move to a new home, change your daily schedule without warning, leave for a longer trip than usual, or bring a major disruption into the household, your dog's body is going through a real, measurable, physiological stress response. They are not overreacting, though their biology is responding to a world that has stopped being predictable. Here's the one that changes everything. The single greatest driver of chronic stress in dogs, above punishment, above loud noises, above unfamiliar animals, is unpredictability. Dogs regulate their entire stress response based on their ability to anticipate what comes next. When a routine exists, when feeding happens at the same time, when the walk follows the same pattern, when they can predict your arrival home, their nervous system operates from a baseline of calm. Predictability tells their brain this environment is safe. I know what happens here, but when that predictability breaks down consistently, the stress response doesn't just activate once and reset. It stays on. The HPA axis remains in a persistent state of alert. Cortisol doesn't return to baseline because the brain never receives the signal that the threat has passed. Over weeks and months, this chronic activation causes real damage. Induced aggression, heightened anxiety that expresses itself as destructive behavior, excessive barking, or inability to settle. The dog is not misbehaving. The dog is living in a nervous system that has never been allowed to fully come down from high alert. Your dog is not asking for luxury. They don't need expensive toys or elaborate setups. What the science consistently and clearly shows is that what a dog's nervous system needs most, at a biological level, is consistency, a world they can read, a routine they can count on, a person whose behavior they can predict. The most powerful thing you can do for your dog's health and happiness isn't a treat. It's showing up the same way, every day. So here's what the science is actually telling us. Your dog knows when a stranger's gaze carries danger, and when yours means safety. They know you're upset before you've said a word. They can smell your stress with near perfect accuracy. Environmental change hits their body like a physiological alarm, and chronic unpredictability is quietly one of the most damaging things in their life. They have been reading you this entire time. Every mood, every shift, every signal you didn't even know you were sending. Next time your dog reacts in a way you don't understand, don't dismiss it. They might be responding to something about you that you haven't noticed yet.